And they said, "Where's the city?"
Even in the middle of the city, right next to Patriot Square, is to the east, is a parking lot in the center of downtown Phoenix and arguably in the center of Arizona.
And that we don't have a heart yet. You know, we really don't have a core downtown.
I've never seen a town with more groups and meetings and subcommittees and want to do this and want to do that, and no one just does it. The process is you have to know more about, just know the history. It's the Phoenix, the downtown area started becoming depressed in the 70s. It was known as the Deuce. In the 60s, actually even in the 60s, you know, you've heard of the Miranda rights warning? That happened right at Bank One Ballpark. And that's where some of the old seedier clubs and bars and all the old warehouses were. But I could give you a list of all the warehouses that have been destroyed in the last 20 years. America West Arena, downtown revitalization really starts with Terry Goddard making the bond issue, getting the Anton Predock building, then America West coming downtown, and that's where everything finally starts to blow up. But there wasn't any planning, so it's just been sporadic. It's been development without thinking about the history, and development without thinking about how people move around downtown.
Unfortunately, the awareness of historic, what it means, how important it is, has not been a precedent. It's not really been the focus here. But we have so little historic equity left that we have to be very careful, be very guarded of it, because you can't fake that. You can't remake it. You can't rebuild it. There's an absolute, you know, just like this studio. If I were to build the studio new, it would never have the same feel. You know, buildings have souls, I think, just like anything else. They have a vibe to them. I'm saying we need to respect the old. At the same time, we need to respect the contemporary as well and find ways to blend them.
As far as civic spaces downtown right now, I couldn't point to one that I think is undeniably first-rate and worthy of a city of this scale and ambition. I really would. I would say that the two blocks, Patriots Park and the parking lot that I mentioned previously, ought to become one of the great civic spaces in the downtown area. It's surrounded by some very good buildings. The Lures Tower and the Lures building next to it. It's a great opportunity.
So I think the most important civic space in the city of Phoenix is the streets. The streets as public spaces. And to enhance the streets, there are a lot of things that could be done. We need a lot more of that retail, of course, lining the streets and hopefully spilling out onto the streets. So you've got cafes with tables spilling out onto the streets. You've got people who's put out their goods on the streets, whether it's an antique shop or a bookstore or whatever else, sort of spills out onto the street. So you get a kind of porous membrane between the store, the retail area, the cafe, and the street itself, or the sidewalk.